Oh yeah, she's coming down. Here's the other strap out of the way, and here she comes. Come on now. Piece of gravy. Let's go take a look. Welcome back to the channel. We got the 50 Styleline. We just did the cooling system for the engine, new radiator, hoses, water pump, belt, all that good stuff, thermostat. And now we've got the hindquarters up in the air because we're gonna finish up what's left of the fuel system. Now previously, you probably already watched, we rebuilt the carburetor. It's happy as a clam. We put a new fuel pump on. It's happy as a clam. But the fuel tank, we looked in there with our little bore scope and it's bone dry and rusty as a clam. I don't think clams rust. Well, and it's rusty as, you know, all get out. So today we are popping the fuel tank out of here because we got a new Taiwanese jobby from the Rock Hard Auto sitting right here, and we even got a new cinder unit from the Rock Hard Auto. And I'm gonna, you know, made in Taiwan both these are, but first impressions, I mean, all steel, stainless. Are you not shabby? I mean, the tank's not stainless, but it's all there. It's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm saying an hour to get this job, you know, swip swapped. We'll have to, you know, run into town, get a couple hoses, because the fill hose, well, let's get under here, I'll show you. But here's what we're up against, and it ain't too bad. So we got two straps back here. We've got the carriage bolts basically through some bracing in the trunk floor, and we're going to try to just take the back two off and then do the whole bend thing. The straps don't look horrible, so we're planning on reusing them. If they look a little crusty once we get the tank off, we'll pump the brakes and get some straps. I don't think we're going to have to do that. We have at the front of the tank, this is the fuel outlet. It's just a soldered in fitting and a flared fitting here. So we put a little spritz of PB on that, and we'll have to get that undone. But I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. We had a one wire cinder. We just snipped that. And then on our new cinder, we'll leave a little pigtail here of new wire because, spoiler alert, we're rewiring this old boy. And then over here on the fill hose, we already destroyed it, got it out of the way, and then snipped our vent hose. Once we get the tank out of here, we'll cut that clamp on the car side of the vent hose and get the rest of that hose off. And yeah, they were pretty much toast anyway. So, you know, for the records, everything under this car is caked in petrified, mummified, you know, farm dirt. So we do have the safety glasses on because I've got a regularly scheduled eye appointment next month, but I'm not too interested in having an emergency eye appointment today. So that's where we're at. We'll get you set up on something. We got that fitting, the two strap bolts, and we'll see if this comes out. All right, let's see what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and bet. Yeah, I put you right where you can't see. Gosh darn it. Here, we're gonna scoot you. Come right over here. And something like that. We can see this. Yeah, you can see most everything. So we went straight to the more better fitting wrenches for this job, because okay, that one's a half, and then the other side, oh, it's probably 9, which is on the other end of my, yeah. All right, we got to go get another fitting wrench. Okay, that one, and we need the 1/2 inch size for this one. I'll put them in the old squeeze mode here. Oh, well, that seemed okay. Come off of there. Could it be that easy, you think? Yeah, it could. I should have brought a regular wrench down here, dang it. Okay, there we go. What's that line look like inside? Is it really bad? Oh, semi-bad. We're going to clean all that out, though. Alright. A little squirty here. Put that there. Let's see what happens. Or we could get the right size socket. And you might be asking yourself, you know, Kelly, what's why are you not doing this on the left? And well, because the Plymouth is on the lift. It's really hot and humid out, and I really don't want to open the door to move cars around. Plus we know already, thanks to our Vivor bore scope, that this thing is bone dry, so it ain't gonna weigh nothing. That nut came off swimmingly. There it goes. And that one's off. So now we're going to do a uncontrolled drop, I think is what this is probably going to end up being. It's going to be goofy. Okay, there's one strap out of the way. Oh yeah, she's coming down. Here's the other strap out of the way, and here she comes. Come on now. Piece of gravy. Now, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here when I say everything under this car is covered in dirt, that's the top of the tank. Now, this is a car. This is not a pickup truck, farm truck, you know, dirt hauling dump truck, none of that stuff. This is a car, but the guy, Carl, that's why we named it this, but Uncle Carl is who had this, not my uncle, just an uncle, and he farmed with this bad ride. I mean, he irrigated and checked rows and all kinds of stuff, so it's been through the ringer. Let's get this outside. We'll clean up a little bit under there because we got a whole pile of farmland under there, and then get the new tank ready to go in. Okay, we got updates. Here's our new tank. We did go ahead and put the cinder in. We pulled the old cinder out of the old tank just to make sure it's clocked right, and as we kind of suspected, the float goes straight in, and here's where your float dangles this way. And then we put a little bit of a lead on it. Like we said, we're going to put new wiring in this car, so this is just going to dangle underneath there, and life will be pretty good. Now, as far as hoses go, we had some of this bent hose, but it's a little loosey-goosey on there, so we're not doing that. So we ran into the Napa Valley. They had the right 1/2 inch size bent hose, so that goes there. That's cool. But this filler neck, and I actually measured, you know, and again, made in Taiwan, but I measured the car into the filler neck, 1 3/8. Measured this, 1 3/8. So at least they're the same. Now, that being said, that's an odd size of fuel filler hose, and that's not what this is. You can get inch, you can get 1 1/4 inch, 1 1/2 inch, 2 1/8, all kinds of stuff that you can't get, at least in the stocks, 1 3/8. So we got a chunk of 1 1/4 here, and I think we can get it to fit on the 1 3/8 tubing, and I'll show you how we do that. There, we got our section cut to length, and you can see visibly the size difference. However, we already did it on one end here. We're going to do the other end and show you guys and dudettes. We can get this to fit over the 1 3/8 without too much trouble. So what we need to do that is we need some silicone spray, maybe a little section of pipe or something you can stick in here and wobble around, and you need a heat gun. Now, we already did step 1, and that was to pre-lube the tubing on the new gas tank with the silicone spray. And now we're just going to take our heat gun on high. Don't use a torch now. We're not trying to melt this. We're not trying to damage this hose. We just want it a little more pliable than it is cold. So we're on the high heat setting of the Harbor Freight heat gun. Just gonna kind of roll this around a little bit, maybe shoot a little bit of heat inside here. And then take a break, and we'll take our little piece of pipe, and we're just gonna do this a little bit and help loosen things up. Get it out towards the edge so you're rolling the inside and the outside. And hit it with some heat some more. Now we're going to go over to the tank. Get off of this thing. Right about there-ish. We're going to roll this up on here. It shouldn't be too bad. With the silicone spray, we're just going to push this all the way on if we can. There. Now, once we get this in the car, we can slide it back off and go the other direction. We'll do this probably 2 or 3 times, and then we'll leave it on the fuel tank when we go in, and hopefully the other end will still be pliable enough we can slide it onto the car end of the tubing over here. The 1/2 inch we're not worried about. It fits just fine. We can manipulate that, but we'll get this one to fit, I think, and life will be pretty good. Alright, you guys are kind of on the non-dramatic side of the car because, you know, the fill hoses and stuff are over here, but I can't put you over here because that's where I'm going to be wrestling with stuff. So you're over there, but just, you know, pretend that you can see everything that's going on. We gotta slide the tank in such as this. This is going swimmingly. And then the straps are like that. Okay. And then I think the goal, at least at first, is going to be to just, well, we're going to try and get a nut on, and then hopefully still be able to jostle this tank around so we can get the hoses on. But I don't know that that is going to be possible as it stands. I think what we'll do, we're going to get a ratchet strap and go from this cross member over up into here somewhere and let this kind of hang here while we work on these hoses, and then we'll go a little harder on these straps. The straps, the bolts on the straps aren't very long, is what I'm saying, and they're just not going to cooperate as much as we thought we'd like them to. So, all right, no big deal. Let's get a strap and we'll come back. You guys, you might need to give me a hand here holding this while I do the ratchet strap thing, Bobber. Golly. There we go. Okay. It's okay now. Everything's going to be okay. And then take you. Oh, looky there. It's almost the exact right length already. This is, how lucky is this, you guys? There. We're hanging. We're just, chilling. Let's just gotta go up above here though, I think. There we go. We're just gonna pause, and then I'll bring you back if we can get these hoses on. Yeah, you guessed it. It's pretty much in. There was some, mostly cursing. I don't think I threw anything. But yeah, it was a little more effort than, you want to put in. But here we are. We're in. It's nice and shiny under there. We've got a drain pan, and we'll explain that in just a second. Couple things to note. This new tank, even though it's Taiwanesium, has a drain plug, but it didn't come with the drain plug. So we robbed the 1/8 inch pipe plug out of the old tank, cleaned it up, got all the rust off of it, put it in there. But we're in. We did get our hoses to all attach. Life is good there. We also had to loosen these front nuts on the front strap bolts here. They're longer, so we loosened them up to where they were almost down to the end of the threads here, and then that gave us enough to get the shorter ones started, and then we just kind of cinched up, back and forth until it was all done. The biggest headache, and really the only headache, sorry about the squeaky creeper, is on this tank. Now on the old one there was a flared fitting, but it was like 1/8 inch flared tubing to an adapter where this 3/8 or 5/16 fuel line screwed in. No big deal. Well, this one, they had a bigger size, and we finally figured it out. It was 3/8 tubing flared female end in here. Well, at least at the Napa Valley and the Irish part store, there was no such bushing to go from 3/8 flared tubing to 5/16 or 1/4 inch flared tubing. But we did find at the Napa Valley, this is just a barb fitting that had a 3/8 tubing flare on the end of it. So we got that tightened up in there. And this black tubing, like I said, we're going to explain in a second. But actually, it's a blessing in disguise, because we're getting ready now to, we're going to flush this fuel line out. And we went to hook up to it at the front here. We'll flush from the front to the back using this hose, but it goes down and attaches to our hard line here, well, that will screw when we're done flushing. That'll screw into directly into the fuel pump here, and then out of the fuel pump is a hard line all the way up to the carburetor there. So if thinking now, put your noggin on this. Hard line from the tank all the way up to the pump, hard line to the pump to the carburetor. What are we missing? Anyone? Bueller? There ain't no filter in the system. There's a little screen in the inlet for the carburetor, but no other filter. So this having to put a barbed end on this tank fitting actually is going to work out, because when we're done flushing this, we've got the 33032 wicks standing by to filter all the fuel going to the pump and eventually the carburetor. So let's flush this now, and it's not rocket science. What we're going to do, we got this hose into a little drain pan back here, and then we got this hose up here just hanging out. We're going to spray a whole bunch of carb cleaner down here and hit it with some air and do that, you know, 30,000 million times, and we should be in pretty good shape. You guys go back here. Your job is to tell me how gross the stuff is coming out of this fuel line. Here, I'm going to put you so you can watch into the pan a little bit, and then let's do see, this is the part of YouTube that nobody tells you about, is you got to set up your shots and stuff, and it can be kind of a pain. Yeah, that'll work. All right, you guys hang out. I'm gonna get ready. We'll push some air through here and some carb cleaner. Here comes your first blast. Spray all over. Do it again. Here we go. Maybe last one. How's it looking? Okay, pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. Let's stop recording. I'm going to review this, what we did. It does look like we got some gunk out of there. Yeah, so by that third one, we were looking pretty clean. That first one, not great. So that's why you go ahead on these rescue jobs, unless you got pretty decent fuel coming out of each end, and especially in this case where we're bone dry and rusty on one end, bone dry and rusty on the other end, flush out that line. Now we did look at the line itself. It's not, we're not worried about it rusting through or breaking in half or anything. That was all just gunk from sitting and probably the last couple times this car has run. Again, no fuel filter on this rig throughout its life. So we're gonna throw the Wix filter on the back. We're gonna attach the line to the pump now, and then we're just about to a point where we can crank this over and watch it run some more. Let's check our coolant. It's right where we left it. So yeah, let's motor on here. Okay, it's a next day alert, and everything's in, done, sealed up, and spoiler alert, we've had it running even. There's just a certain amount of stuff that we needed to get done. I needed to get done last night so I could do what I need to do this morning. It's late in the afternoon and I'm just now hitting the shop today. But the bottom line is Uncle Carl is now got a sealed up cooling system that is working just fine and not leaking. It doesn't leak any oil, and now it's running off its own fuel supply, and also no leaks there. So let's put you over here. Let's get a light. I haven't had this running at all today, so let's just see here. First of all, let's go 1, 2, 3 pumps. The choke did close, so we should have some sort of a high idle. Keys in the on position. Here we go. Oh, I should probably hook up the battery. Here we go. Oh, sure. That's different. Okay, here I don't know how or why this happened, but on this old starter, and this is why I don't have video from last night, when we pressure washed this engine, you know, stuff gets wet and whatever. Well, the starter didn't want to work last night when we got everything ready to roll. Figured out that this solenoid wasn't engaging fully and getting power to the starter motor. And it's kind of a unique little guy. We took it off, cleaned it all up, bench tested it, everything looked good, and we put it back in here. It's actually just an open air solenoid. This plunger here, that plunger right there, just slides in here. An electromagnet pulls it in, and then it is connected with a pin and a cotter key to an outside mechanism that physically pulls the Bendix of the starter. And it had a little cotter key in it, and we put it all back together, and we had it in there. But just now when you heard it whir with no crank, the pin was laying on the shop floor. So we have another cotter key in there and clipped off, and we're gonna try this again. I have no idea why or what happened to the previous cotter key, and I know I put it in there. Okay, 2 more pumps. Key is on. Let's try now. Oh, a little more pumpage. Okay. Oh, good golly. We're gonna do this off its own supply, darn it. There it goes. This needed to be a little happier. One thing we learned right off the bat with this engine is it either fights to start or it's bang, on and going. So this is where we're at, running like a top, but that's high idle. Life is good. Uncle Carl runs like a top, you guys. There we go. A little cold-blooded. Thanks for watching this one. This is a big step. I know we've already had it running. We had it running off a gas can. We had it running on its own mechanical pump. But to get to a point where it's holding coolant, it's got new thermostat, water pump, radiator, the cooling system is thumbs up. It's not leaking any oil. Oiling system is happy. And now the fuel system from where you put gas in the car to the carburetor is 100%. We really appreciate each and every one of you dudes and dudettes for watching our stuff. If you have comments or questions, tippy tap the keyboard, let us know below. We respond to almost all of the comments. Click like, consider subscribing. That would help us out a bit too if you like what we're doing here. And we got a lot more Uncle Carl 50 Chevy Deluxe stuff coming. We'll catch you on the next video.